Alright, Sam and Max inventory basics. So, what we've got here is there's a few keys that you can use to operate your inventory. Now, the most logical ones is A and D. So if we have a look at our inventory, I've got this at the start and this at the bottom. So if I hit D, I get the first thing. If I hit A, I go to the bottom because it's just scrolling left and right. D is to the right, A is to the left. So I can go all through the inventory, all the way to the bottom, and back to the start again, and vice versa. Okay, very easy. The other few options you have is S, which will give you the bottom two things. So if I repeatedly hit S, you can see that they're the bottom two things. Okay, that's it. X will give me the top two things. We're going to inventory, put that back down. We've got the top two things here and here, and X just gives me those things. Okay. If I'm in what's called the inventory cycle, cursor cycle, sorry, and I hit right click, I just cycle through all of my things, and that's what I've picked up, so that's in my hand at the moment. You will notice that even if I'm off this and I go into inventory, this is here. If I right click off this here, it's still in my hand. It's no longer in my inventory, and that's important. It'll come up later. But if I put that, sorry, if I click off this, the other key to remember is O, and that is your currently held item. So O will bring me to this. I can right click off it, and O will always bring me back to that. If I place this in my inventory, I am no longer holding anything. As you can see in my cursor cycle, O does nothing. I think it just constantly goes to walk. Yep. That's inventory basics. So to recap, we've got A to scroll left, D to scroll right, X gives us top two, S gives us bottom two, and O gives us the currently held item. Obviously, this is different depending on your native language or your native keyboard language, but for English US keyboards, this appears to be the common keys. So yeah, that's the basics. Next we'll move on to inventory speed. Okay, so the next thing with the inventory is the speed in which it opens. Okay, if I put this down and close, you can see it takes a bit of time. It's still quick otherwise, but if I pick something up and move it, it takes time, or if I pick something up and go out, it takes time. That's why the scrolling through is much quicker than a quick inventory place and close, or inventory pick up and close, either way you want to do it. The one exception to that is combining. So if I go to this, all right, I can combine these things and get out of my inventory very quickly. So if I go, that was super quick, and there it is combined. But if I reload this and we try that again, but I try and pick it up, so we want to go, all right, say it's here, we want to go combine, pick up, and then that's slow again. So you want to avoid that. Another example of that is here. So what I tend to do here is I'll start walking towards here because there's two combines. What we want to do is we want to combine this with this and then this with that. Now if I just do it the standard way I would, which for me I go SAA to get to that, I'll explain the peculiarities of the inventory in the next section. I normally would go combine, pick up, and out. But as you can see, that's kind of slow. Even if I go combine, pick up, combine, and out, because then X gets me to it, it's still slow. So the combine rule does not work there. The alternative to that is to double up your combines. So you get the first combine, and you go like that, and then you would scroll through to this, and you would do your second combine, which is probably about here. And that's quick. Now, where that gets tricky is when you're walking here, and I'll show why that is. So if we load into this screen and start walking, and I do a nice quick combine, I then have to click back here to get him walking again. And then I have to find this, do another quick combine, and get him walking again.
Holy cat heaven. How long do you
if I don't do it quick enough, then he's looking at the thing and we don't get in. So ideally what that would look like would be... Oh. And then you would go to your walk and then X to get that. It's a lot of messing about, but it's what'll get you through that the quickest. I think that's probably the only... there is a multiple combine later on, but it actually behaves quite differently, so I won't go into that in this. I will be doing a full advanced runner's guide of Sam and Max in the future, where I'll go into a lot of the extra little details. But as that sort of falls out of the scope here, I'll just continue on. So the next section will be about the inventory glitch techniques. So let's get into that. Okay, so we've gone through... Oh, there's a bug flying around me. We've gone through some of those basics. So XX gives us the top two, S gives us the bottom two, and it just cycles like that. But where that changes is if I pick this up. The funny thing is, this does not exist in my inventory yet. I can open my inventory and I can right click away from it and it's not there. It only exists in my cursor cycle. Now if I scroll through, something odd happens. So if I scroll through with D and we memorize things, so flashlight, lens, I always forget the name of this thing, rasp. Now if I go back one, we'd expect the lens, but we get the flashlight, it jumps the lens. If I go forward, we get the lens, but it'll probably jump the rasp. Yep, we get the cup. But now if I go back, we jump all of them back to the flashlight. Now this seems entirely nonsensical, like I can't scroll through one way and then scroll the next. It's just all over the place. And you'll often find people in a run will just be, well, at least for me, it was crazy confusing. Everything in my inventory was not where it was before, because I'd picked something up and scrolled through without knowing what happens. Similarly with X. So if I do X now, I've got the air and the flashlight. If I stay on the flashlight and I do S for the bottom two, I get the ring and the flashlight. X, so it's the top two, hair and the flashlight. So where is the flashlight? Is it the top or the bottom? And this strange behavior is where we can actually move things in our inventory. So I'll go back and we'll grab this hair. So our inventory looks like this. Okay. What we're doing is we're moving things between the bottom 2 slots and the top 2 slots. Okay. So what I can do is I can use that to say, okay, well, I'm going to get the hair and I'm going to put it here, right? By swapping it. It's a series of swaps. So I'm going to swap with the ring, and that'll be in my hand. And then I'm going to swap the ring with the grabber. So the ring will then move to the top, and I'll have the grabber in my hand. What I'll do then is I'll cycle back to this hair, and I'll say I want you at the bottom, and it'll put that there, which should give me the hand back, I think, and then cycle through to this hair and say you're at the bottom, and I'll get the hand back again, and then once I'm out, I'll have 3 hairs at the bottom, which is optimal for going into the rock section. I'll show you exactly how that works because it is a little weird. So we'll run through this. Pick up the hair. So I've got that now. S to go to the bottom to get the ring. Now I've got the ring in my hand. I hit X to move it to the top, and I've got the grabber. Now I hit A to cycle back through to that hair, and I say S because I want it at the bottom, which gives me the hand back. I cycle back through again to the next hair, S to put that at the bottom, and then I can right click off. Okay. If I go to my inventory, I think that's right. Oh no, it's chucked the grabber in the middle. I think I have to go. So yeah, you do tend to get this strange behavior. I think we have to jump back to the top. That's where I got mistaken. So because you can only really mess with the bottom 2, it'll chuck whatever you don't want in between. If you're doing multiples of 3 or even 4, it'll chuck the thing you don't want at the bottom. So you then have to go back to the top. I'll show what I mean by that. So again, we grab the hair, S to go to the bottom, X to move that to the top. We cycle through to this hair, S to send it to the bottom. We cycle through to this hair, and then we go S to send it to the bottom. And then we hit S again. Now that's giving us the bottom 2. We go across to the hand, X to the top, and then if I click out of that and go inventory, yeah, there we go. And that gives us the hands back in its original position, and that puts the ring at the bottom. Which is fine because we're about to hand the ring off. Now, you could use this to do it for the hairs, but I find that quite tedious. That's a lot of things to do. The beauty of it is you can do it while walking. So I can grab this, I can say walk over here, and I can start
I can't use these
doing
things together.
all of these things while Sam's walking. Okay? I will have just completely changed or hit all of that inventory, as you can see, which is where it gets dangerous. But I found it really difficult to do that, to be walking and to be constantly changing lots of things. What I actually do in this section is I pick up the hair and I actually then walk out here. And then while I'm walking, I go X, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thought it was 4, it was 5. On D, X again, and then I just click out. And what that actually does for me is it puts the lens at the top and it puts the hair in my held items. What I then do is
I can't reach the doorknob.
Maybe I did it on 0, sorry. Yeah, let's try that again. Wrong save game, that's right. So if I go X, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, X, and then use this door, in my inventory, the ring is in second slot. So when I hit S to give the ring to Shavul, which I will show you, I can just hit S and give him the ring straight away. I know it's the second last thing in my inventory. And the top thing,
Is this
just for the sake of it, go through this section. Okay, so I've gone through the doors and now I'm coming up to the lift. This is where I actually would use this opportunity to move these down because the door just opened then. I've got that time while the cart comes down to move all of that in the perfect order. But now I know that the lens is at the top. So when I get up into here, I just hit X and then I click on that and he goes and adds it. I don't have to go through my inventory to find it. And it doesn't matter if there's a gap here and all these gaps, because all of the text still works. You can use these techniques anytime you pick something up, but that's the only time you can use it. As you can see here, I haven't picked anything up yet. I've got nothing in my cycle. So it's not until I pick something up. Like I can do this as much as I want, and it's always just going to be the hand. And that's it. It's always the same two things. I can't manipulate the inventory this way. But because of the time it takes to place things in your inventory, it is quicker to do your inventory management while Sam is walking. If you got real good at this and memorized it, you could rearrange this whole thing while Sam's walking. And provided you do the run the same every time and don't fall into the trap of picking something up and scrolling through, then your inventory should stay the same. But the moment you pick something up and scroll through, it's going to change. So you kind of need to scroll it the way you want it, and then don't touch your inventory. Only use X or S when you know what you're going to be getting. So again, if I grab this, and I don't have to, like I can do it from here, I can go, usually I would probably go, because I want the hair towards the bottom, I don't want it, or towards the top, either way, it doesn't matter. But I want to get to that and X, and I can click off, and I know if I go into my inventory, the lens is at the top now instead of in the middle where it was. And then yeah, this hair will be at the bottom because when I give Shavul this ring, the hair will be placed here, and the ring will be picked up and given to Shavul. And that sort of is how that will then all be placed. It's a lot to wrap your head around, and I'm really hoping I explained that well enough. But yeah, that's sort of how that works. Other things to do in here, in just preparing for different scenes. So for instance, when you're leaving Bumpus's Bumpusville, you can, on your way out, get the rasp ready and then just right click off it, because you know that when you get to the Bigfoot convention, you can just hit O and you've got the rasp. You know that's already in your hand. So you don't have to do crazy inventory manipulation to get that at the top. You just need to get it in hand while you're walking out of Bumpers Fill, and then you know you've just got O to go to it. Little things like that is really handy, but I do use the glitch tech for here, and I use it at the tar pit area to get the rope in the right spot and a couple of other things. So yeah, I hope all of these techniques have been helpful. And yeah, I hope that helps you understand how the inventory works in Sam & Max Hit the Road, because it is a really bizarre little inventory system, and it took me a long time to figure out exactly how that works. So yeah, good luck with all the runs, and hopefully you can get some really good times. Thanks. See ya.